Hi, YouTube. How y'all doing today? Yeah, I had a pretty good day. It's not morning. I waited for a while to do this video. Um, I'll just tell a little story, I guess. This whole isolation thing and whatever we're doing, it's really important to remember that it's stressful, and months and months and months of being alone and having your entire routine shaken up and whatever can be kind of hard, way harder than some people realize. And I just watched a video, and a man was talking about how his 12-year-old son had hung himself in the closet. And it's important to remember that isolating yourself the way we have been for so long, and being alone more than normal is difficult for a lot of people. And just be careful that you're aware of how you're doing and whether or not you're feeling well. Last night after dinner, I decided that I desperately needed to go buy some junk food, and so I did. I ran off and I bought a great big thing of ice cream, and I brought it home, and I proceeded to devour the whole entire thing. And I do that sometimes. It's part of my life, I guess. And I really, this morning when I woke up, I was really, really aware of how, if I allow myself to eat a whole lot of sugar or whatever, I sometimes, it's almost like I feel hungover. I feel hungover, and in the morning it's much more challenging for me to be optimistic and to feel enthusiastic about the day. And I do think it has something to do with flooding my system late at night with all sorts of ice cream and things. And so I don't know. I just had a hard time getting moving this morning, and I did all right. I went for a walk, and I did my meditating and all of the things that I do in the morning that help me to feel more optimistic. But it seemed like it just was a little extra challenging to stay positive and to keep focused on some of the things that make me feel enthusiastic and happy. So I don't know exactly what I'm saying. I'm just saying be careful. Don't take for granted that things are okay if they're not. Like, it's important sometimes to talk to your friends. It's important to get together with people, and it's important to realize that things are okay. Sometimes I think about, remembering who I am. A couple of days ago, I decided to have a coffee, and I walked down the street, and there's a local coffee shop just down the street from where I live. And I thought, well, I'll support the local coffee shop and go there. So I went and I walked in to this place, and I wish in hindsight that I had just turned and walked out. It was all set up. It was kind of like the bubonic plague was, ready to attack you. The tables were all turned upside down on each other, and they had put marks on the floor so that you had to walk through the coffee shop a certain way. And they had all these barriers up and all of these things to protect everybody from this horrible scourge, coronavirus, whatever thing. And there wasn't anyone else in the coffee shop except the staff. And it was kind of like, I'm not really interested in being continuously reminded of this horrible scourge everywhere I look. And today I went and I was going to have another cup of coffee, and I went to a place, and I didn't have my phone with me, and I had brought my wallet, so I had cash, right? And they didn't want to take cash. It's like, you know what? I've lived a long time. I have a very robust immune system, and touching cash and standing a little too close to somebody on the beach or when I'm walking along, like those things are not something that I am afraid of. But I understand that some people are. I do. But for me personally, I need to continuously remind myself that I'm healthy and strong. There's nothing wrong with me, and I don't have to be forever on guard to make sure that I don't get sneezed on or something. And it's like, for me personally, it's important that I remember, mankind is a very robust species. We've survived a lot of things. And I certainly hope that for the next however many months that the businesses that are open now, and there are more of them than there were before, if you can have a few tables inside, if that law permits it or whatever, well, have it. Try and make it look as normal as possible. And this whole idea that, you know, making it look like the bubonic plague could attack you, it's like, I will never go back to that coffee shop that wouldn't take my cash. I won't. I'm sorry, but that is not something that I want to promote. I think that fear is rampant in our society already. All of this riots and stuff now with this whole racial thing in the States and whatever, it's like everyone's on edge and feeling pretty weird about a lot of stuff right now. And it's like, I just think I have to be careful and be peaceful and make sure that I'm okay. And if that means ignoring the news, and I shut off my news feed on my computer, I don't need to know these things. I don't need to I don't have to dive right in and listen to every little announcement about, what horrendous, ridiculous thing is happening next. It's like riots and fires and whatever. It's kind of like, it's got nothing to do with me. And sometimes, for people like me anyway, just remembering that this is not my story. This is the world's story. And I don't have to even notice if I don't want to, because my story is not a story of, plagues and horrible riots and terrible racism and things. I live in a place where racism does not appear to be that much of an issue. And I'm really grateful. I'm grateful for Vancouver. I'm grateful for Vancouver for a lot of reasons. And it's a beautiful place. Nature is amazing here, like amazing. There's otters and stuff in the bay all the time. There's birds and geese and eagles, and it's amazing. So anyway, I am pouring oceans and oceans and oceans of ascended master's sacred fire, power, love to each and every one of you fine people in the universe of YouTube. And I am asking that it is eternally self-sustained. The most productive thing that I can do for myself is to choose to pour out love to everyone and everything that I see. It makes a huge difference. Anyway, have a great night, I guess. And I can see the people are going to start clapping, all of the things about the frontline workers and all that stuff. Anyway, see ya. Bye.